Three, two, one. Jansen Harris here with the final play on the Just Good Network. We are presented by Socks and Got Skills Pro. Joining me is Zaria, Eli, and Candace. Let's get to it. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are still undefeated, 6-0. Guys, and I'll start with you, Eli, on this one. Are we thinking Super Bowl with the Eagles? Is it time to start associating the Eagles with Super Bowl?
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna say no, not yet. Even though they are the best team in the NFL right now, they are the best team in the NFL. They are the biggest threat in the NFC. However, I want to see what happens when they get into true, like after that first couple of losses. Because I don't think I don't assume that they're gonna go undefeated. Now, if they come in and they're 10-0, then we'll be like, okay, we'll go ahead and pencil them in for NFC Championship game. Right now, I'm kind of saying, okay, I know they're gonna make the NFC Championship, but considering the team and the experience level, most of the guys that were on those previous Eagles teams, I'm trying to remember if it was 17 and 18. One of those years that they went to the Super Bowl, beat Tom Brady. Most of the people that are on that team right now are, they're not part of that team anymore. So considering everything, considering the players that are on the team now and the experience level, I don't think that they can go as deep in the playoffs. But right now, they are the best team in the NFC, the best team in the NFL. So it's only a matter of time. I do think they're going to go pretty deep, though.
Awesome. Candace, your thoughts on this Eagles team? Is this the Super Bowl bound team, or do I need to calm down? It's a little bit too soon.
I think I'm going to agree with Eli. My statement is always for anything, any professional sport, is it's not what you do during the season. I'm a postseason person, so I agree with Eli. They're getting great momentum right now, and to be honest, this is who Jalen Hurts is, and this is who he wanted to prove who he was last year, and so this year he's just proven that this is the quarterback that he has what it takes to lead a team. So now he has to see if he can lead a team into the playoffs, and not only into the playoffs, but can you get past the first round, second round, where it's real showdown, where it really counts at. So for me, I'm not going to say this is a Super Bowl team, but this is a playoff team that's ready. And so I think Jalen needs to keep this same momentum because he's going to have to face Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have to face the Chargers. And even though right now the Raiders are a little bit shaken up, he still has to face them as well. So I'm interested to see what he does in the playoffs when it matters.
Okay. Sean, what's up, man?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm digging the shirt.
Yes, sir.
It's looking clean. Your thoughts on the Eagles? This your boy. I got to give you credit. Jalen Hurts. They're 6-0. Does this look like a Super Bowl team to you?
They do, man. They definitely like a Super Bowl team. They're 6-0. They're playing very well, and they're balanced. They're balanced on the offensive side, obviously the football, defensive side as well. Their defense. I was telling my dad as a diehard Cowboys fan. I said, "Hey, look, Eagles defense is a top 5 defense. You know what I mean? They're really good as well. They have the best, to me, cornerback in the league, and Darius Slay. And they're just a balanced team. And Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's been balling this year, and I'm just not surprised on him having the success. This is really, I believe, his third or second full season as a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like full season. I think it's his second full season as a quarterback. His third year total. So him continue to progress each and every year. Again, I called it out since he first got drafted. I said he just has a light, man. He just has that leadership, intangibles. And he just knows how to make plays, and it's not necessarily always the prettiest game, but he knows how to make plays when it matters the most. So this team does look like the Super Bowl team. I'm not going to say they're definitely going to be in the Super Bowl because there's a lot of games left. It's only, week 5? But they definitely are a contender, though. Definitely.
No, I agree, man. I'm starting to become a believer. I was an Eagles hater last year. I thought they were like, but that defense, man, forcing the 3 interceptions on Cooper Rush, Jalen Hurts, he played well. He doesn't throw crazy passes. And this was a game where against the Cowboys defense, which I had a lot of respect for, he did his thing. No interceptions. He didn't look shaky at all. Like you mentioned, Sean, looks like a leader. I can't even hate on this team. Miles Sanders, you know how I feel about the running backs? He played well. This team is 9th in passing, 5th in rushing. They're just a balanced team, well coached. Devontae Smith, everybody was saying he's too small, he's too skinny, which I wish I had that issue. But look, he's still balling. He's showing people he's an NFL wide receiver. Just love what I'm seeing out of him. AJ Brown, man, the Eagles look like a Super Bowl team. I have to give them their flowers right now. I don't see any team right now in the NFC who could beat them. I'm high on the Vikings. The Vikings are sneaking up on people, but we saw what they did to them on Monday night, and I picked the Vikings. So the Eagles, they just keep proving me wrong, man. Right now, I'm going to start sipping their Kool-Aid. They're 6-0. They look like they get to the Super Bowl. Zaria, do you believe in this Eagles team?
I definitely believe in this Eagles team, and I think that they can definitely make a good playoff run. I don't know if I would say right now if they're Super Bowl ready, just like Sean's saying, we're still very early into the season. So I feel like they would have to constantly keep improving. But this Eagles team is definitely like really, really good. Jalen Hurts is playing incredibly. I didn't think he was gonna be this great until like it's playing out how it is now. And yeah, you still got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, and those two are two amazing receivers. And then Miles Sanders as the running game, and their defense is pretty amazing right now, especially in the Cowboys game. So I think it is a little too fast to say that they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think that they will be in good playoff contention.
Okay, moving on to the Giants. Candace, I'll start with you. They're 5-1. Are they the most surprising team right now in the NFL?
Very surprising. I don't know where this Giants team came from, but I mean, hey, I know all of New York is happy. They look exceedingly good right now. I mean, not just defensive wise, but offensive, their running game. So this is really right now a pretty scary team on the East Coast, and I'm really excited that New York has just come alive. They've been waiting for this for a long time right now, and so they look tremendously good. They're kind of scary. I can't wait to see what they do when they face some other teams. But right now, this team is very surprising, and this is like another Eagles. They're just like the Eagles. They might be playoff ready. So I'm happy for them.
Okay. Eli, your thoughts on the 5-1 Giants? Brian Daboll has done an excellent job, probably coach of the year. At least right now he's a front runner to win that. Are they the biggest surprise to you right now?
Yes, and mainly because, like Candace said, I don't know where the team came from, considering they didn't make any large, like really, really big offseason moves to change them from. And in the offseason, everybody was still looking like, okay, they're going to, a good season is a 4-12 or 4-13 now. 4-13, and then see how they fall in the draft. And, everybody's looking at college. Okay, they're looking at CJ Stroud, how he's going to pair up with Saquon, how is Bryce going to pair up with Saquon? No, the Giants don't want none of that talk. Seeing how the defense has only evolved under the I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Jason Garrett? I'm assuming that their defensive coordinator that's coming from the Cowboys. Seeing how they've evolved under him is really, really been a I would say a renaissance. I'm trying to find the right word for it. Because, like I said, last year they were middle of the pack in pretty much every category. Offense was terrible. At this point, Daniel Jones was supposed to be heading out there like, okay, well, you're just going to be a placeholder until the next quarterback comes in. And they're coming in, and Saquon comes back with a vengeance. I think it's really his mentality coming off of his second injury that has really driven the team. And I really believe that they're the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC alone, because the Vikings, I've seen this movie before with the Vikings where they're really, really good and then they fall off. I haven't seen this with the Giants as of late. So, and the fact that the Eagles are in the same division, that's going to be the main point. But I didn't see any of this. I don't know how the football guys decided, we're just going to pick a random team. And Giants was that random team. So I know at least half of New York is happy with the Giants, and the Jets that's a whole nother story.
Absolutely. We're not even going to talk about the Jets today, but 4-2 start, I'm definitely pleased. Sean, are the Giants the most surprising team right now in the NFL?
No, Jets, Jets.
Hey,
The other
there
New
we
York
go.
team is the most surprising. I'm gonna tell you why they're the most surprising because everybody, you even know this, Jansen. You went live. I need you to talk more about Jets too. You're a fan. I want to hear more about that. Just gonna we need to continue to get Jansen talk about his Jets. But that's a story for another day. Jets the most surprising because everybody had them definitely at the bottom. All the offseason acquisitions. I understand this is the Giants question, but I'm answered. I'm putting the other New York team. We talked about the Buffalo Bills. They're already Super Bowl contenders. We talked about Bill Belichick and the Patriots. We ended up saying, you know what? It's still Bill Belichick there. They're going to get 9, maybe 10 wins. We talked about the Dolphins with Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle coming in this season, Gesicki, all those weapons. Oh, the Dolphins should be this great. Everybody Eagles last years, they dismantled the Packers. They were on Aaron Rodgers' tail. They were on his head. They beat them 27-10. The defense looks good. Why is it always when the offense is good, the defense have to be really good? And these teams that come from nowhere, the old Chicago Bears, the Baltimore Ravens, you have a game manager quarterback. But your guy Bryce Hall is balling, man. So yes, the Giants. I'll say this: they are surprising. I understand the question. Great question, Jansen. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna give more credit towards the other New York team, man, because nobody even thought they would be decent this year. I didn't, but they have what, a 2 to 3 game winning streak. And remember, they beat the Browns. I know they're the Browns, but they came back on the Browns in an impossible game with Joe Flacco, who's still playing. So you know what? I'm more impressed by the Jets than the Giants, and I just want to give them credit. But yes, the Giants are 5-1, but I still have this might be a hot take. I don't have them making the playoffs. I don't know. I still don't trust Daniel Jones. Saquon is definitely balling this year, but I still think, hey, Eli, I know you talked about you don't believe in the Vikings. They do this stuff, but I don't believe in the Giants, man. When the push comes to shove, I trust Justin Jefferson, the gritty master, and some of those guys want to trust the Giants. That's my hot take.
Okay. Zaria, your thoughts on the Giants. Are they the most surprising team?
Kind of going off of what Sean was saying, I feel like everyone in New York should be very, very happy right now. I feel like both the Giants and the Jets are the two most surprising teams. And starting off with the Jets, that game against the Packers, just wow. And Brees Hall, he's putting up really good numbers, and I didn't really expect the Jets to be as good as they are. I didn't really expect them to win as many games as they have right now. But I'm riding the Sauce Gardner train. I love the little cheese sauce thing at the end, and I feel like that was probably one of the most underrated draft picks that the Jets had, and I feel like that's definitely coming into their advantage. But going off of the Giants, I feel like the Giants, we didn't expect them to be that good because we were looking at them in training camp and we were seeing Daniel Jones throwing terrible passes, and we're thinking, well, this isn't good for the Giants because the season starts in about 2-3 weeks, and if he's throwing passes like this, then I don't know how he's going to do that. But their coaching staff has really put Daniel Jones on the front, and how his running game has gotten better along with his passing game. And Saquon Barkley putting up numbers every single game and with high numbers for rushing yards. But I think it's because they are in the same division as the Eagles, just like Eli said. I don't think the Giants would be able to beat the Eagles, but I do think that they are very surprising with being 5-1.
Okay. And my take on it too. First, I gotta show the Jets love. Obviously, great road victory. Quentin Williams, got to give him credit. Just the animal. He was unstoppable in that game. Sauce Gardner, he's way better than what I expected. He looks like a top 10 cornerback. And the Jets running game, Brees Hall, as you mentioned, Zaria, he's an animal. He's a monster. Young guy getting a lot of yards. Michael Carter, too. Their backup running back. I love what I'm seeing out of that kid, too. He had 6 carries, 41 yards. So the Jets, when you can run the football, good things happen. And back to the Giants. They're fourth in rushing touchdowns. Of course, it starts with Saquon Barkley. And this is a team. And we talk about this all the time, Sean. Good things happen when you can run the football and you can stop the run. And this Giants team, they could stop the run. They could get to the quarterback, and their pass defense is 8th in the league. So the Giants, I don't think this is a team that is gonna make a deep playoff run, but they're well improved. And They're the biggest surprise to me. And then I'd put the Jets right behind them. Transitioning to the Packers, that they're 3-3. I don't know. Some people thought the Packers wouldn't be that good this year. Are they in trouble, Eli? Are the Packers in trouble, or is it just they're just trying to get used to not having Davante Adams?
I think the Packers have been in trouble since they drafted Aaron Rodgers back up. His name is slipping. Jordan Love. Since they drafted Jordan Love and is just not coming back to bite them because Aaron Rodgers has been that good, the Packers have been in trouble with their front office. That's the main point. Why I think it's coming back to bite them now is because mainly Aaron Rodgers feels like I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna get another ring if I want to, but to keep it 1,000, I'm just here for the check, and I'm here to just pad stats. Aaron Rodgers is not looking for like any type of glory. He's not trying to be like what Von Miller or Russell Wilson, like trying to change environments to add a ring or add more to my legacy, or to prove something. He has nothing to prove. He's right now, until Patrick Mahomes came in, he was the most skilled quarterback in the NFL. And that's why I say skilled, not the greatest. We all know who greatest is. But on top of that, Davante Adams was there to be the number one, and everybody else on the team could fulfill the obligations necessary, and they could all feed into anything that Davante Adams, gave. So I think Davante is going to bring that to the Raiders. It's just going to take a little bit of time with their wide receiving core. But looking at who do the Packers have right now that's that number one dude that everybody can look to? Atlanta had Julio Jones. Green Bay had Davante. Detroit, until they kind of messed it up, Detroit had Calvin Johnson. They have a number one that everybody could, like the rest of the wide receiving core could, trickle down and live up to the expectations that he puts in. I know Davante Adams, more than likely with his work ethic, he's going to be on the practice field long after hours. I don't know who's doing that right now in Green Bay. And exactly like what Aaron Rodgers said in the press conference, that's why I had these suspicions in my mind where he had said, I think it was week 1 or 2 when they lost to the Vikings and had wide receivers dropping passes. He said, well, it mainly goes to our preparation. And he never, it's flipping my mind, but unless he said that, and I don't remember it, he never said that about while Davante was there. So if it's going down to preparation and it's based on who the Packers have, I think all of this goes back to the front office and what they're doing. And a part of the blame also falls to Aaron Rodgers because of the mentality of it. It's just I'm just here just to be here. But the defense isn't as strong as it was. The offense, the running game isn't as strong as it was. So now it comes down to, okay, well, do they have like that umph player that can take them over the top and nobody's there? So they will, as it stands, they will be lucky to make the playoffs because of their division. But any other way out, and that's me hating on the Vikings again. I know they're gonna come at me, but any other way out, I don't see them. And Aaron Rodgers is just that good. He can probably get them 6, 7, 8 wins on his own, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm tripping, but watching that whole game, it looked like they couldn't protect Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what happened with Aaron Jones. He had 9 carries, only 19 yards. I don't even think they gave him enough carries. I don't know why they're not running the football more with him. I think they should feature him also more in the passing game. Candace, your thoughts on this Packers team, 3-3? Are they in trouble?
They're definitely in trouble, but I think it's a mix of two things. They no longer have, like Eli said, their number one receiver. And I also personally think that we're just seeing the last of who Aaron Rodgers is. Of course, Aaron Rodgers will go down as a great quarterback. He will go down as, to some, a legend, to some not. However, Aaron Rodgers might have seen the last of him last year. Without his number one receiver, who's he throwing it to? How are they going to get down the field? And so this team this year is just not that team that's going to be able to get the playoffs as Aaron Rodgers has always done. Aaron can throw it all the way out, air it deep enough if he wants to. But without having a number one target that he can feel and he can connect with, this team is just unfortunately just going to unravel. I can see him getting into the playoffs because that's what Aaron Rodgers does. However, I think we just seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Okay. Zaria, your thoughts on this 3-3 Packers team? Are they falling off? Do you think they're going to miss the playoffs?
I think they are going to miss the playoffs just because the Vikings are doing so well. And me as a Bears fan, this makes me happy to see someone else that's not Green Bay beat us. So seeing Green Bay slipping, it's kind of concerning for Aaron Rodgers' standpoint, but you can also just see how important Devontae Adams was to the team. And Aaron Rodgers, he's been in the league for 18 seasons, and most of his receivers and targets have less than half of the experience that he has. So I found that very interesting, and I think it is more of an execution thing. He has more people that are either rookies anywhere to their first season and their fourth, which that really just explains the difference between Devontae Adams and how he has, I think this is ninth year with the NFL. So you can just see how it's more of an execution thing and kind of an age thing and just experience. And I was listening to the post conference, and Aaron Rodgers said that he just wants plays to be simpler. And I feel like he's on to something right there, because I feel like for the Packers' sake, it'll be way easier to call simpler plays that can be executed rather than elaborate plays that fall short.
You think it's wrong on Aaron Rodgers? Because it sounded like right there he's taking shots at the head coach, Matt LaFleur. Do you feel like that's what he was doing there? And
Um, no, I don't think he was necessarily taking shots at Matt LaFleur. I think if anything, he's just trying to win games. And I think it is a problem because I'm seeing these plays, and I feel like Matt LaFleur is expecting these receivers out of like maybe only 3 years, expecting them to do Devontae Adams type plays, which that's not really, I mean, it's possible, but with their time that they've been in the league, it's not really that doable. So I feel like it's more of a, we need to change this. Not in a mean way, but more as a, if we want to win games, we should probably do this.
okay.
Okay.
Sean, your take on the Packers and even the running game too, man. We always got to talk running backs and stuff. Even the running game. I'm concerned about Aaron Jones, but are they in trouble, this Packers team?
Yeah. I think the Packers. I think they are. I think they are in trouble. 3-3. I mean, a lot of teams are 3-3 in the NFC, but yeah, I feel like the Packers, they can beat the teams who aren't as good. They can take advantage of. They could take advantage of. Sorry, Zaria, the Bears and the Lions. Those division opponents and a couple other teams who aren't as good. Maybe the Carolina Panthers, but when the push comes to shove, man, in the postseason, if they do make it, they're definitely one and done. I mean, again, it's still early. I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely a legend. He's a great quarterback, but this year, kind of him and Brady, it's like they have the moments, this season where they're having decent games, but it doesn't have the same splash. It's not the same effect. And I do feel like it is because of the receiving corps. You still got some veterans on the team like Lazard and Randall Cobb, who had a first good couple games, but recently they haven't really been really playing that well. And I'll give the Giants credit. In the London game, they were up 20-3, or it was a big score. They end up coming back, and they end up deflecting. They end up putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. So it looks like the Packers O line isn't as good. Excuse me, this year. We saw him get beat up against the Giants and also the Jets. So hey, 3-3. They lost 2 games in a row. I don't see it stopping really. I don't see the bleeding getting completely healed. Again, we all mentioned the Vikings. Even hey, look, I'll give you credit. Even the Bears defense is decent. So we have to see.
Okay. And with the Packers, I'll end on this note, man. You can't be 4 for 16 on third down, expect to win games. They got to change some things around. But talking about a team even worse and then just more chaos and look like they're going towards rebuilding mode. The Panthers, they fired their head coach, Matt Rule. They traded Robbie Anderson. And to me, it looks like Christian McCaffrey is going to get traded to a contender. Eli, is this team just in full rebuild mode at this point?
I would have said yes had they not already gotten Baker, because an acquisition like Baker, regardless of his level of play, are you using him as the bridge and the placeholder before your next quarterback. But then you would just, okay, well, why not just stick with Sam Darnold and then not even take on Baker's contract and save yourself some money. I think at this point they probably are. I'm gonna go ahead and fold to it because of their coaching decision, and then I know probably the Robbie Anderson move was probably going to happen anyway. It just is bad press that it happened right after the game, and it just so happens that Robbie got into it with the coach, all that. So this is going to be a culture change, just like with the Texans. You have to start from the culture, run your way through everybody, and then start building players. That's what the Jaguars are doing now. They're slowly working into it. The Jets are a perfect example of that. But where do they go? I don't know if they're going to go for players first or they're going to go for the front office. Whoever's in the front office needs, and I'm including coaching staff in the front office, but whoever's on the coaching staff now, like the interim head coach, even like what usually happens in the NFL is the interim head coach comes in, and then most of the teams usually get like the spark of fresh air because the bad guy was out, and so they took out the rotten apple, and now they're going well, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll just hire the guy that's right here, and then there's like, okay, and then the very next season they always either somewhat do good or don't do anything at all. So the Panthers are in the dugout, or not in the dugout, they're in a rut for at least another 2-3 years. Because even now they were like slowly on their way up. That's what Christian McCaffrey was supposed to be. Christian can't stay healthy for more than 5 games. I don't know where it's all going to go for them. And then being in the division, that's the only hope, is that because the division, Tom Brady is just a year to year quarterback, and Atlanta is on its way up, but not doing anything right now. Same thing with New Orleans. Because of the division, they can afford to be a rebuild team, but I don't know how long it's going to last without the fans and the organization starting to get angry.
Absolutely great take on that. And my thing is too, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of coaches getting fired in the middle of the season. Why not wait till the end? But it is what it is. And I think that just made things go even more downhill for them. But you're right. It's a weak division. Nobody's really that strong in the NFC South right now. But we'll see. They're 1-5 and they're terrible. And they look terrible. And Baker looks like Baker does. Candace, your thoughts on this Panthers team? They are 1-5. They look bad. The chemistry's not there. What's next? Do you see Christian McCaffrey getting traded?
Absolutely. This team just needs to start all over again and just start all over again in the next offseason, because there's no way that they can bounce back. I think that with the drama of even Baker Mayfield coming there, none of the team members really wanted him there in the first place. And so there was some little bit of negativity surrounding that. And it's just like the team just got off to a bad start already. And so it just seems as though it started bad, it continued bad, and it's going to end bad. And so they just need to collect and get back together again at the end of the season. Maybe get some new coaching, maybe get some fresh young legs in there to be on receiver for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield still has it despite his the circus around him. He still has it in him to lead a team, but they just need to start over from the ground up and see if they can get better next season. But it's a wrap for them. It was good. Thank God they showed up, but just go ahead and say deuces.
Absolutely, a lot of Panthers bashing right now, including myself. Nobody thinks anything of the Panthers right now. Zaria, you're feeling around this Panthers team. They're 1-5, lost their coach, Robbie Anderson. Just snap of a finger, one argument, he's out of there, and it looks like Christian McCaffrey potentially can get traded.
Yeah, kind of going off what Candace is saying, they can just wrap it up right now. We can just call it a season after this, because this is actually ridiculous. They are actually really bad. And with Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's decent. Like he's a pretty good quarterback, but not top tier. But especially everything that went on with Robbie Anderson last night, and then him getting traded not even 24 hours before the game started, or not before, but after the game started. And I think they are actually going into a total rebuild right now. I would say that the best thing they have for them is Christian McCaffrey, but then after hearing that that they're interested in trading him away, now we know that it's a real rebuild and that they're just going to scrap everything. I don't know if they are going to build the team around Baker Mayfield per se, or if they are just going to start adding pieces and seeing what works. But after this season, I think it is a total rebuild and they can just kind of forget about this whole season.
Okay, it looks like they'll be challenging for the top pick in the NFL draft. So we'll see some of the prospects. So we'll talk about that. Maybe Bryce Young to the Panthers. Sean, your take on the 1-5 Panthers? You're already laughing at it, so I already know.
Yeah, man. The Panthers. The Panthers are done, man. I mean, they're a team in turmoil. I made the text group chat yesterday when Robbie Anderson quit on the team. You knew he was like, you're not coming back to practice the next day. You already made it your mind. You're going off on the receiver coach. You're ready to get out of here. You got signed 12 hours later. 12 hours later, he signed already. Cardinals like, yeah, we got you. He didn't even get targeted last 3 games. So they fired their coach. They don't care about the coach. I mean, to be honest, it's just the Panthers. I used to like some of the players. Growing up. Even still being a Falcons fan, always like they had some legends on the team. Julius Pepper, Steve Smith. I love Cam Newton, but honestly, ever since Cam left, they have no identity. They have no soul in the team. We can talk bad about Cam all we want. He hasn't looked as good, but at this point, you should have kept Cam in the offseason, give him a full offseason, and bring some identity, some spark to the team. Because Baker, I mean, again, I thought he could do decent coming to the season. It's not all his fault, but Baker doesn't look any better than Cam did last year, to be honest. And Cam barely played, 5 games there. They had P.J. Walker in there yesterday. He was run all over the field, got smacked against Jalen Ramsey, came out for a couple plays. The Panthers are, I mean, honestly, they're probably the worst team in the league. And I mean that. I mean, who else? The Texans? I think the Texans could beat them. So as a Falcons fan, we need to go and sweep the Panthers. That's a trap game because how bad they are. I don't believe in them. It's time to right ship. Steve Wilkes, I'm glad he has an opportunity, but too bad yesterday. You are gonna receiver coach. Your player just walked out. So the Panthers they're a joke. They're a joke. And it doesn't bother me because I'm a fan. So I definitely don't care about the Panthers. They just need to stop.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. 1-5. This team's terrible. And let's talk about another disappointing team, though. The Arizona Cardinals, 2-4. This isn't a good start for them either. But D-Hop, one of the best receivers in the league, one of my favorite receivers. He's back. Eli, let's start with you on this one. How does D-Hop help this Arizona team? Because this is one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. We have to keep it real on this. This Arizona team, Kyler Murray got his paper. He got paid. To me, last game, he put up some numbers. He was good on the ground. It wasn't all his fault, but he's been a little bit disappointing. How do you view D-Hop coming back, helping this Arizona Cardinals team out?
In regards to Kyler first, getting paid, it proves yet again that you can't pay somebody way too early, because every time it happens, it never ends well for the teams involved. We have yet to see what the Cowboys do with Dak, but ever since they gave Dak that big contract, what has happened? Nothing. And then for the big money, after they've proven it. Patrick Mahomes has proven it. Lamar Jackson deserves his money. I'm gonna be on the case. I'm gonna raise the picket stand, all that. Lamar Jackson deserves the money because he's already proven it. However, for Kyler, that's why I'm gonna stand on that one. So for D-Hop, just like with Devontae Adams bringing that to Oakland, Robbie Anderson, I guess he had that maybe a little bit in Carolina. I don't know, but bringing that over, Robbie Anderson is gonna be bringing at least an elite, a really, really good wide receiver, a pretty good wide receiver, a possible Pro Bowler, like on the fringes of it. He is bringing that skill to Arizona. So, and with the running backs Arizona has, the other wide receivers that are in the room, because there aren't no scrubs in the wide receiver room. So now it all falls to Kyler Murray, and D-Hop is definitely going to be looking at Kyler like, all right, everybody's back. We're adding somebody new to help us out. We're going to have the certified number 2. Robbie Anderson is going to be the certified number 2, and you have your speedster. His name is with me right now. But they have their speedster. They have, their slot guys. They have Robbie Anderson as their certified number 2. You got me as certified number 1. I can be double covered, and I'm still going to catch it. So bringing that mentality to the team is going to be, like, it's one thing to be there on the sideline, but it's another thing to be practicing and getting in the hits. So for him to be able to bring in that mentality on game day, and for teams now to have to focus on him, that's going to open up the field for more stuff. Kyler is going to be able to tap into his running a little bit more. But overall, I do feel like the Cardinals are going to be on the trajectory up, but not putting them on the mountain, like, all the way up. They're not going to be able to beat – they may be able to beat the Rams because the Rams are just – they're on a Super Bowl hangover a little bit, so it's going to take a little second. But coming out of their division, I don't see them coming out of the division yet with just DeAndre Hopkins. It just adds – he's so good, and he brings this another level of consistency to the team. That's what I'm looking for. He's consistently great, and he's consistently a threat. So because of that consistency, he's going to be able to bring that to the team and be able to at least take them at least to a couple more wins before, I don't know when their bye week is, but before their bye week.
Absolutely. And bringing that leadership, I think they desperately need that. I think they're a little bit shell-shocked. This team, they started off strong last year. Coming into this season, when Kyler got his paper, he got his bread, everybody's saying, okay, watch out for the Arizona Cardinals. And now they're just I don't know. Every time I'm watching the team play, they just don't look that good. We'll see. We'll see. I think D-Hop helps them out a lot, and I believe they're playing Thursday night football, right? And I can't wait for that game. Candace, your thoughts on the 2-4 Arizona Cardinals? DeAndre Hopkins is coming back. How does he help this team? Candace, you there? We can't hear you. It's all good. While you get that figured out, Zaria, your thoughts on D-Hop and how he's going to help this Arizona Cardinals team hopefully win some games. 2-4, terrible.
I'm just gonna say it. I think he'll help the Cardinals, but I don't think they're gonna move up anywhere in the NFC West. And I think it's because you got D-Hop now, and then you got Robbie Anderson, but Marquise Brown I think he's gonna be out for the rest of the season with, I think it's a knee injury. But with him being out for the rest of the season, I think that's just a big toll that the Cardinals are just gonna have to face. But D-Hop, yeah, like Eli's saying, he's not inconsistent. He's very consistent, and he's keeps putting up numbers. So I think that he'll definitely be a help for the Cardinals. I don't think they're gonna win this game against the Saints. Hot take on Thursday, and then they play Minnesota next, which I don't think they're gonna win. And I think they have 3 more games after that until their bye, which I forgot who those 3 teams are that they play. But I think with the help of D-Hop, they should get more points, 1. And 2, I think they'll get at least 2 more wins before their bye.
Yeah, if they go 2-6, Kingsbury might be on the hot seat. If everything happens like that, Zaria, then we're probably going to be talking in that area. 2-6, wow. Sean, your thoughts on Kyler Murray getting D-Hop back, one of their leaders, one of the best receivers in the league. How does this help the Cardinals team?
Yeah, D-Hop definitely helps him out a lot more. We definitely seen his impact in this. Really ever since the end of last season. They went to the playoff game. I think D-Hop was, he was really limited against the Rams last year. You see what Kyler was doing. He played horrendous, and this year he's kind of been up and down. That game against the Las Vegas Raiders is probably Kyler's best performance this year, running around to get that touchdown, AJ Green, and then the 2-point conversion. So we've seen flashes from Kyler showing why he's he can have that, say, elite flashes. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback yet, he's not, but he shows that he can be only he can make those type of plays, similar like to Mahomes and old Russ. But the point, though, is, I think D-Hop's impact is definitely going to be needed because Hollywood Brown, is out. He was a top 10 receiver so far this year when we look at the stats, Hollywood Brown's stats. But He's out, so definitely the impact of and also the signing of Robbie Anderson is going to help because he he's a taller receiver than Holly Brown. He has just amount about the same amount of speed as well. But with Kyler and the Cardinals, I mean, it is a little disappointing because usually they start off fast, and they start off slow. Are they 2-4? Or are they 3-3? I think they are 2-4. I think you're right. Yeah, they might be 2-4, Jensen. Yeah, I think you are right. I was trying to check up on that again, but this game is against the Saints is really a must-win, I believe, because if they lose this one. I mean, hey, they lost against Seattle. A lot of people that think Seattle was going to be as good this year. They're still just 3-2. Again, it's really early, but that's still a divisional loss. Anytime you face the 49ers and also the Rams, those are division games, and those defenses are still pretty good. So, for Kyler, I mean, I think this Thursday night, I mean, I'm not gonna say do or die. It's still early, but it's definitely they definitely need this win. But I think D-Hop, I heard he's still in shape, and he can get now back in the facility today. So I think it's definitely like the prodigal son returning.
Yeah, and you guys are speaking facts. They lose to the Saints, they're in trouble. Yeah, they lose to the Saints, they're in trouble because they're not going to beat the Vikings. So that would be 2-6. For some reason, they can't win at home, which is pretty odd. They're 0-3 at home, but 2-1 on the road. Candace is back. Candace, your thoughts on this Cardinals team getting back DeAndre Hopkins?
Well, they should be set to go. They now finally have the keys adjusted, but getting Hopkins back and then getting Robbie added in, this should be the engine to get them rolling, get them started, to get them winning. However, they still have a long road ahead. And I think this is like what Eli said, the disappointing fact of paying someone too early. They paid him all that money and it was great. And it kind of just flopped. So now he has to kind of pick it up. He kind of has to prove that he's worth the money, which he has already, but he's got to pick it up a little bit and get them winning.
Absolutely, I agree. Sorry for that little bit of delay. Just hit the wrong button. But anyways, guys, I got to go watch Monday Night Football. I know you guys have to too as well. Thank y'all so much for joining. Eli, Sean, Zaria, Candace. Peace out, y'all. This is the final play on the Just Good Network. Visit justgoodnetwork.com. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Good night, y'all.
Let's ride.
Good night.
We got to make a segment of Russell Wilson. We got to talk about him more.